Ladies and gentlemen, I have my homie Roberto of Mexapino Mills. Hey, what's up, brother?
What's up, man?
Dude, welcome to the pod, man. I appreciate you coming on, man.
Thank you, man.
Thank you. Like, coming all the way from Washington.
Tacoma, dog.
Tacoma, Washington.
Yeah, man.
Dude, you're the first person to come from, you're the second person to come from out of state to the podcast, man.
There's the other guy from Arizona, right?
Yeah, the other military guy.
Oh, he is?
Yeah, he's Air
Okay,
Force.
okay.
Yep.
Army dog, what's up?
Yeah. Man, so for those of you that are listening, me and Roberto go back, dude. We've known each other since 07, roughly. Yeah.
14 years.
A 707 native. If you don't follow him on Instagram, he wears it on his chest proudly.
All day, every
yes,
day.
sir.
Yeah.
He may be living in Washington, but at heart, he is from the 707.
Say it backwards,
Yeah,
goddamn.
dude, say it backwards, man.
All day, man.
I'm recalling the days when we were like, I'd run into you at the club in Sacramento or
at the park,
at the
or
party.
it was at Avalon or some shit.
Yeah, dude. I remember this one time my homies were performing. They were like doing their rap thing, and you were there, and I was like, oh shoot, dude, it's Roberto. Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Also, we were both Sac State alum.
Hell yeah.
Yep,
Class
dude.
of 2010.
Yep, I graduated 2009.
I'll bet. Hell yeah,
dude. And then
I took an extra year.
You know what? Looking back, you did the right thing, dude.
Yeah, I did.
You did the right thing.
I actually messed up because you know how you went to Solano too, right?
Yes.
Did you remember the program where you do like the 2 years, you get the associates, and then it basically puts you into the four-year school?
Yeah.
When I got to Sac State, I was misinformed. I messed up. I was short one class.
Oh.
I thought I was going to graduate fall of 2009, and I was short one class. I'm like, are you serious? They're like, yeah. I'm like, so what does that mean? You got to take one more. I'm like, oh, God. Yeah.
Oh, so you had to take one more class at Solano before?
No, at Sac State.
Oh, so they made you do one more.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So
And
did you get that out of the way beforehand, or you waited towards the end?
It was at the end.
Oh, yeah.
Because I got like the sheet with like all the classes that you had to take. That class was like it wasn't as printed out. Like it wasn't bright bold ink. So like, oh yeah, I'm good.
Yeah.
So,
No, dude,
yeah.
trust me, I made plenty of mistakes. And if you listen to the previous podcast, I do have a college degree.
Yeah.
Kobe.
In business, right?
Yeah.
Which makes complete sense because like so my question was, how long have you been in the food industry business? Like, because I know it's within your family, right? But like, when was like your first day of work, I guess?
Like in the food industry?
Yeah.
It was, well, okay. I guess technically it was my first job because I scooped ice cream, which falls in within the food industry.
Yeah.
So it was when I was 15 and a half years old. But actually, like kind of working for the family business, it was 2007. So I was 21.
Oh, so right when I met you, because I think I met you like spring or summer.
Yeah.
Of 07.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So so since 2007, bro.
That's wild, man.
Yeah. It's been a ride.
Yeah. It's been what, like, so 14 years in the industry, and you started at the grocery store, or was it the bakery? Was
So,
it like,
well, the way it works, because my direct family, so me, my sisters, my parents, and a cousin, we bounced around everywhere. Wherever there was a hole, we would plug it.
Yeah.
So I just found myself gravitating towards the restaurant because, as you know, food calls to our soul.
I like to eat, man. Yeah.
And also, my future wife was there. That's why I was always there.
Oh, was it? Okay,
yeah, Carla was working there.
I always wondered, I never knew y'all's story. Like, how did y'all meet, and like, what made you like each other? You know, like, was it like she was new in town, and you're like, hey, come to my mom and dad's like store, or so she worked there first?
Yeah, the nutshell version is she saw me, and it was love at first sight.
Yeah.
Yeah. For a fact, you know that's not even true because you kind of witnessed the whole thing. You like literally know the insides of. I mean, you don't know how we started dating, but also at the same time, you're like, hold on, that's not true.
Yeah, I was like, I think for 2.5 years because I was with my ex at the time.
Yeah.
With Leela, and she worked at Starbucks, and then she met Kike through Starbucks because the C6 store was like across the street.
Yeah.
And then so you guys were always there just to get a drink and talk. Oh, you're Filipino, I'm Filipino. All right,
Yeah,
cool.
exactly.
And it was just like a friends of friends thing, you know. And then when we started to go out to the clubs a lot, and I was promoting with like Donovan.
Yeah.
The
shout out to fucking Donovan.
The plus sign vibes and
sir.
their friends of friends.
Plus sign vibes, bro. Dude, you're bringing it back, man.
Yeah. And I still talk with them too, and just like when I talk with like friends like Mad, just like that 06 to 2009 time was fun,
dude.
Man. We were all 18 to 22, you know, and
no regrets, man.
None.
It was so fun.
Oh, yeah.
Like going to Sac State, going to all of the plus sign vibe events, Sacramento, Fairfield. Remember Pepper Bellies?
Before it got burned down. R.I.P.
Dude, too many inside jokes going on right now.
Too late,
dude.
bro. Too late.
But yeah. So man.
Yeah.
Bringing up all the good memories.
Like I remember on someone's Instagram story. I thought it was a joke. I thought it was a meme. They took a picture of it on fire. I'm like, what's going on? Did you drop was it a mixtape? Like, no, it's actually
really
on fire. I'm like, oh my God.
Hey, you know, that it's kind of sad because that place could have been like a legit comedy club. Because, you know, we were bringing like
Rex,
and Tommy Davidson.
And Joe Coy.
Joe Coy was there?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Dude, that's so sad.
Yeah.
That's so sad. That could have been like the place where like all these big names would have ran into.
Because Sacramento has their comedy club in like West Side, or like in the old Sac. Mm-hmm. Fairfield were what? The cool thing about this town is that it's right in between Sac and the Bay.
Yes, sir.
So like, the Sac International Airport, the Frisco Airport, like.
And it just brings like this like mini melting pot of people into the 707, you know what I mean? And it's kind of like made us to who we are today.
Yeah, and I constantly talk about like where I'm from. Not one just because of the pride, but I was like born in the Philippines, but I was like raised here, and like I constantly tell, because I'm in the Army, I constantly tell and to promote just everything that's from the Bay. You know, when people say, "Oh, California," oh God, here we go. Like, there's a lot of things from the Bay Area in specific that are like very influential. Not just the music from the West Coast, but like you think of people like, you know, let's see, who's from the Bay? Like E40, Short, Dre, Kaylani, Jeezy, Her. A lot of people, they're from here. And Mozzie, Pilo. When people like that kind of music, I'm like, yeah, it's from where I'm from. They're like, yeah. I'm like, yeah, Sage is the Gemini. Like, I have friends that said they ran into him at the Fairfield Mall all the time.
Yeah, he used to work at Vans, right?
At Vans, yeah. And then who was it? Goldie Gold in the Federation. He used to work at the Chicken Express Coop at the mall. Like there was a little stand.
Okay.
He used to work there.
Dang, I didn't even.
I was
know
like, what?
Yes, it's like a hidden gem, but not so hidden anymore.
Yeah.
You know, it's pretty much well known. Like,
yeah.
The vibe that 707 brings, it's special.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. There's a lot of roots that like.
Yeah.
There's a lot of context to it. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, man.
Before we get too far,
yeah.
I need to let it be known that you brought your famous Birria tacos, and I saw your earlier post. These are the special ones for the Tapioca Talk. They're oxtail Birria tacos?
Oxtail and beef, too.
Okay. I'm going to chop into these. While I'm doing that, please tell me about what you brought for me today and like just the inspiration behind them.
So, with the Mexapino meals, so this in particular is a dish that I like to make a lot. I probably made it a dozen times now since like last October. Mm-hmm. And it's basically bottom chuck roast and oxtail, right? You can make it in a taco, a burrito, a pizza. It's a very time-consuming stew. It's kind of like pulled pork, but you use beef or oxtail or whatever you want. Traditionally in Mexico, it's made with goat meat. So
I love goat, by the way.
Yeah,
I love goat.
But it's really hard to find, especially if you're gonna buy like 8 pounds of goat meat. You don't really just have the access to like buy 8 pounds of goat. So a lot of people do the birria de res, which is beef.
Thank you, sir.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I was up till like probably 1:30 in the morning, dog.
My guy, I appreciate that, man. Just for me?
Yes. And I made some more. There's a couple more, plates, but that's about like 7 ounces of meat and like 3 scoops of the broth. You know what I mean? So,
dude, this looks amazing. So, Coach me up a little bit. How if this was you, you'd put a little bit of the cheese, some of
The cheese is a Oaxaca cheese, which is like a northern Mexico melting cheese.
Okay.
It's better than mozzarella, pepper jack, American, and all that. So when it melts, it's a really thick cheese. You know what I mean? And then you sprinkle some lime on it.
Okay.
And the cilantro and the onion. It's super good, man.
Okay, I'm gonna sprinkle a little bit of cilantro. I'm gonna use my hands.
Oh yeah.
My hands.
Oh yeah.
And I'm just gonna chop into it. Dude, this looks amazing, brother.
Try it, man. Hey.
You know, I'm gonna tell you a secret. Another reason why I started this podcast was in hopes that people would just feed me.
Right? To be nice, right?
Yeah.
I tell people like Filipinos by culture, we are generous. We like to be a good host. We want to make sure that people feel at home when they come to our home. You know, take off your shoes, but enjoy the food. And if you ate when you came here, we don't care. Your mom's gonna say, "I'm not come eat, come." Like, no, it's okay.
Mga na.
Yeah, until I just ate. I don't care. Come and eat. I spent two hours on this food. You're gonna eat. Like, okay, all right, right.
Sorry, that was kapangpangan. I mean, kain. Kain na.
Yeah.
Dude. All right, I'm just gonna pretend you're not here, okay? I'm gonna be
it's all
like
good.
unbiased.
Do you mind if I take a?
No. Oh, let's do a shot. Let's do a shot.
It's
While
been
you're
a while.
opening it up, savory, super tender, packed with the flavor, good balance with the lime, the onion, and honestly, I don't think I could see this with a flour tortilla. This is a perfect with
Has
the
to
corn.
be with corn. The flour, it absorbs it too much, and it's more of a like mushy meal. You know what I mean? And you don't want mushy.
I like flour.
Yeah.
But with this, and honestly, if this is all you served on the Mexapino truck, I would be there every day.
Right.
This is really good, my friend.
Thank you.
Seriously.
And the salt content was the sodium good? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I eyeball it all. You know what I mean? I eyeball
Right
it all, bro.
Dude, I've been a chef for a long time.
Yeah.
It's by feeling.
Yeah.
It's by feeling.
I tend to add the salt last, just so that way I want to get the full flavor from the bone, the oxtail bone, and the fat. And then see, like, once you add everything, the leaves, the cloves, and the peppers and everything, the garlic and onion. All right, you can always add salt last because you can always add more, but you can't take it out. If you put 4 heaping spoons of salt, it's salty. You got to add a lot of water to it, which will dilute it, and it'll make it taste not so good. You know what I mean?
Spoken like a true chef.
I learned from my mom, dog.
Yeah, man,
You know,
me too.
and the wild thing is, so I was also gonna like ask you too, but like it's wild that our families are from
Pampanga, yeah.
right? And I tell people, they're like, where are you from? Like, oh, I'm from Mexico. Like, oh, in Mexico? Like, no, Mexico, Pampanga. They're like,
wait, your family is from Mexico, Pampanga? Like where my dad is from Mexico, Pampanga?
and Angeles.
Dude, this is crazy,
Yeah,
man.
so we specifically grew up in Concepcion.
Whoa, dude.
Yes.
I bet you our families know each other because Mexico, Pampanga is a
Yeah.
small town.
Yes. So my family, the barrio that we lived in, our family's names were Balahaya and Navarro and Patdu.
Dude. Okay, yeah, we know each other for sure. I definitely know Balahadja.
Yeah.
Did you know that Carla has a Balahadja in her family?
No, what? Really?
Dude, her first cousin is Balahadja.
Really?
Yes.
So there could be a chance that we're family.
Maybe.
Bro,
Bro, queer.
she needs to go on
Kuya
an
Mexapino
Ancestry.
meals.
Oh yeah. Hey, so I'm on Ancestry.com.
Yeah.
So my DNA is on there. So
Okay.
if she could get hers done, hey bro, are we family? That would be dope.
Yo, we got to cheers to that, man.
I'll bet.
I got some Pliny the Elder from my boy Alden, and you got little Terramana. The
Rock.
only way to start off a podcast is with a little bit of Terramana.
That dude.
Shout out to The Rock. Maybe we'll get a shout.
I've been hearing that a lot. Like, we can get just one sponsor one
Yeah.
time, man. Cheers, bro.
Oh, man. Dude.
Yeah.
This is crazy. I can't believe we've known each other all these years, and I'm just finding out that your family's from Mexico. Pampanga.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
This is where you were born in the Philippines?
Yes, I was
Were you born on the
Clark Air Force Base, San Fernando.
Isn't it crazy how there's so many people? Well, it's not that crazy because
Yeah.
Travis is here.
Yeah.
But there's so many kids our age that were born on Clark that are here, literally.
Yeah.
Like
The cool thing
a
is,
lot of my
so
homies, man.
last week, I don't know if you saw it on my Instagram and all that. My mom retired after 27 years
Yes, sir.
at Cache Creek. one really cool thing is two of my aunties, even though they're not my auntie, you know.
Yeah, of course.
One grew up in Sassoon. One was on base. She moved to Vegas, but both of them were there at the retirement, at the party. Both of her, the cool thing is that they were both her best friends since she was in middle school.
Yeah.
Both from Pampanga. All three of them, my mom and her two best friends, all married Air Force men.
Oh, wow.
And all of them were at Travis Air Force Base in the 90s.
Yeah, yeah.
You know? So it's wild.
like this weird thing, but
It's kind of
also-
like the Joe Coy joke, you
Yeah.
know? I'm Filipino and white. That's not a joke. Like, so that means that, which means that my dad was in the military.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
And we literally witnessed that our whole lives because,
Exactly.
I mean, my mom or dad aren't white, but I mean, my dad married a civilian in Guam as a, so it was just an interesting story.
It happens, yeah. And I always like to share the story of like how my parents met because my dad was in the Air Force for like 4 or 5 years, right? And all the GIs on Clark would go eat.
Yes.
Yeah, as a group.
Yes.
And where my dad went to go eat was at Grande Ihaw.
Okay.
Ihaw, like grill. My mom was the head chef and the owner of the restaurant. And that's how my dad met my mom. And my dad always has that same story of like, son, when I met your mom, it was like love at first sight. I told my buddy, hey John, you see that girl right there? I'm gonna marry her. No, you're not. Shut up, bro. And then like 12, 13 months down the road, I was born. Which so
You sealed the deal.
Exactly. So I think it's always cool that like how maybe our parents met or parents in the 80s, it was before the internet and cell phones. So there was always that old school love where you could have love at first sight and just really want to be with someone for the long run and not have any sketchy side chicks swipe right kind of things. It was a real love.
It was a different time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Ever since I was a kid, for some reason, like I always appreciated the 80s specifically.
Oh, yeah.
I wanted to like, if I could hop in a time machine and just witness a certain decade, it'd be from like 1980 to 1989. Just everything
I think
about that era appealed to me.
I tell people like, so I still think that we grew up in probably some of the best times because we grew up with like, especially we are the same age. Like we grew up with the internet and like Napster, the dial-up, the connections, and then the cell phones, the ringtone, and we grew up in that era. And to now we have like iPads and we can talk on our phone or watch. Hey, I'll be there.
Yep.
Boop, text.
And even before that, we know the old world before all that.
Yes.
So
we grew up with like Super Nintendo and Nintendo, Atari, the cassette tapes. I tell people
house phones.
Oh, yeah, with a long ass cord. Oh, mom. Oh, sorry, I gotta put this up.
Yep.
Or when you would call someone, 7.
Yeah.
0. 7.
We've literally dialed a phone and used a phone like that still.
And we've been in a phone booth.
Yes, sir.
To respond to a pager, a beep. Oh, 911. Mom.
Yep.
Okay.
143.
637-823. Like, oh man.
Dude, all the young listeners are like, what's going on here?
Yeah, but even Soulja Boy had that song. What was it? Or was it Chris Brown?
It was Soulja Boy. Yeah.
I love you.
Yeah.
I tell my soldiers that I always like I joke around because I've been in the Army for 10 years, and my soldiers every year they're 18, which means every year they're born in 97, 98, 99, 2000. My newest soldier, he was born October 2001. I'm like,
damn.
After 9/11, yeah. I'm like, do you remember? He's like, no.
Nope.
I think I learned it in a book in like 8th grade. But I'm like, you learned it in a book? He's like, why? So I'm like, I lived it.
Yeah.
I was in 10th grade. My teacher was crying all day.
Yeah, it was our sophomore year.
Yes.
Yep.
Because my teacher, Ms. Patterson, her sister worked on one of the top, floors of tower. I don't know which one, but it was one of the first ones to get hit. And I remember specifically on that day at school, it was quiet. People were crying. Especially, it was the adults. It was the teachers were quiet. They brought, not to laugh about it, but like they bring in that big the TV with a
you gotta wheel it
strap
in.
on it, and we would just watch news like the whole time. Like, if anyone wants to go home, we can call your parents and you can go home, or you can watch news with us. But this is a really a serious and traumatic event, and we're just gonna watch news all day.
Yeah.
It was just kind of like, hey, this is real. Or like, what's terrorism? We're 15, like, or at least I was. I'm like, I don't know. So that was like coming of age, and we learned a new term in our lexicon.
Yep.
Real
fast.
Yeah, like terrorism. Like, what's terrorism? Like, is this for a religious thing, a political thing? Is it oil or money? Like, what?
It was scary, man.
Yeah.
Do you feel like, because obviously that day, I remember it like yesterday. I'll never forget that.
I still do that.
Did that play a part into you joining the military?
A small part, yes. Because I didn't join until I got done with school. But I still remember after that happened, I could sense the culture, the vibes around the town. Like, we always have kind of like maybe the stereotypes that we just learn as a kid about like black people or brown people. But then after 9/11 happened, you're like, oh, a son. You just kind of look at him like, do you know any family out there?
Yeah.
That's a terrorist? Like, why are we saying that? Why are we thinking that way? Oh, because there's a lot of emotion involved, and people get a little crazy about, like, if a bunch of Germans were to attack us, we would feel some type of way about that group of people.
Yeah.
And so I felt like during that time, like, the military was not on my mind. I was in martial arts, and I went to Solano, and I was just in my own world. I was kind of like lost at the time. I was like, oh, I'm undeclared. I just want to
figure it out.
Yeah, because it was fall of 03, and then I went to Solano until about 2006, I think.
2007.
I was there for like 2.5 years. So. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But I didn't think about the military till about I was done after school. I'm like, I want to be a physical therapist in the Army. And then that turned into like, oh, okay, well, you could join as an officer and everything. But the packet for that, a lot of those were turned in, and we're not going to get a next group to turn those in for like for 14 months. I'm like, I don't want to wait that long. I'd rather just join enlisted as a specialist, as an E4. So I kind of started as a higher rank more than everyone else. But I was 24 at the time. So I was like, oh, yeah, I'm down. I still want to go in the medical field. Like, all right, well, your score is very high, so you qualify for all these jobs. But right now, there's only these 10, 12 jobs. Which one do you want? I'm like, mechanic? No, I'm good. Electrician? No. You want to work on the helicopters? No, I'm good. The rockets? I'm like, rockets? What do they do? Like, they press a button and they blow shit up. Like, all right.
I'll do rockets.
So I thought it's not rocket science, but my job in the Army is a fire director NCO. I basically support the commander's guidance to support fire. So when there's a target, I relay the grid, the information. Hey, there's a target over here at grid Alpha Bravo 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a truck. It's a building. It's this, that, and third. It's a target of opportunity. We need to blow it up. Okay, roger. And then they send it down to the launcher. They're like the big old truck, and they have the little module that aims at it. And
wow.
So
you got an important job, man.
Yeah, because if I mess up, you might blow up the wrong thing.
Yeah.
And you don't want that.
No, man, not at all.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's been your main job since you've been in the Army?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm a staff sergeant in the Army in E6. I've been in for 10 years and a couple months. And I'm on my way out. I should be out of the Army in 2 or 3 months. So,
oh, wow.
So for sure by the end of the fall, I should be out. And I can grow out my beard.
Well, I'll be you have your beard right now because you're on leave, huh?
Yes. Yeah.
I got to say it now then, man. I want to be the first since you're not out yet, but thank you for your service, dude. Coming from a military family, my dad was in the Navy.
Nice.
And, got a lot of homies. I do not take for granted what you guys do, no matter what you do, whether you're in the Army, the Navy. I know you guys have a lot of gamesmanship and everything.
Yeah.
But everybody that served, I've seen, like, what you leave no matter, even if you retire, once you're done with the military, you leave a piece of you in the military. Like you don't come back the same person, good or bad. And I've seen that.
Yeah.
It's not like if you're not experienced with any military people or family, it's not like cut, dry, and easy. You know what I mean? You sacrifice a lot.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that. You, my dad, my brothers, my family. You know, I really mean that when I say that.
I appreciate that
because I've seen everything that you guys do.
I tell people all the
time. It's not fucking easy.
One, it's weird to respond to that when I go to Safeway. I go to the gym. I go there. Thank you for your service. I'm like, at first I'll be like, you're welcome. But then I'm like, I've learned to say or to respond with thank you for your support. Like you support me, I appreciate that. I appreciate that you support me. I thank you for that, because it's like a very humbling thing. Because like at times when no matter what job you have in the military, we just do a lot of what everyone else does. We're not in war, killing the bad guy every single day. We're training. We have other things to worry about. We gotta train up for things like that. But there's also like 100 things to worry about throughout the whole year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like if you're a banker, you don't just like write checks every single day and night, all the time. There's like 20 other parts of your job that you do. So it's like, just to tell people like thank you, because I'm busy all the time. I wake up at like 5 a.m. every single day. I have like 5 soldiers under my team. Some people have like, depending on your rank, it's like you're the boss, right, of your restaurant. You're in charge of like what, 10 people on your staff, or 12?
In a given day, yeah, roughly.
So my team is like 5 soldiers and a sergeant below me. He's one lower pay grade than me. So I relay the plan that has to go for the day or for the week. I worry about the planning and operations. I relay it to him, and he relays it to the 4 or 5 guys that we work with. And so like, hey, this has to get done, this, that, and the third. This is our go-home criteria. This is what we have going on. So we have things going on all the time. Our training, we got to go to a brief. We got to go to the range, take a PT test. There's like a dozen things that we do throughout the course of a month.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
that's good prep for your next endeavor
exactly.
for your life. And before we stray off path too much, I kind of want to bring it back real quick to your parents meeting Pampangas, because for those of you that don't know, Pampanga or Kapampangans as well, we are known for our cuisine.
Exactly.
It's almost like people say it's in our blood.
It is.
And look at you, like
it's in my blood now.
You and I have been cooking since we were little kids, right?
Oh yeah.
Your mom had a restaurant in Pampanga during the 80s when kind of this amazing thing happened where there was like an explosion of Filipino cuisine just making ourselves known. We invented our culture.
I take pride in that. Bro.
We invented sisig.
I take pride in that, bro.
Sisig is so popular now around the world,
especially in the like Bay too.
Yeah,
the senior
senior sisig, House of Sisig, dude.
Yeah.
Like you're talking about the place in Daly City. God, dude.
Where?
There's I don't know if they're still there, but this is like early 2000s. There's this place called House of Sisig in Daly City.
That's dope.
They're like one of the OGs.
Oh yeah,
so good, man.
Yeah,
yeah. But so your mom had this restaurant, and what was it called again?
Grande Ihao.
Okay.
Yeah.
And would she talk about like what her popular dishes were?
Yes, because like I say like the last like 5 years I've been trying to pick her brain about it more, just because like I don't know.
That's the source.
Yeah, one is the direct source. It's probably the best source. Like you want to cook Filipino food, learn from your mom that's been cooking since she was a little girl.
Yep. That's
how you since you were a little boy. Like I learned when I was 11 or 10 or 11. Like I grabbed a knife. I'm not go take the shrimp and da da da. Okay. But she said the sisig and the barbecue skewers, the chicken, the intestine, the pork. And the lumpia, like those were like the top 4, like hands down. If they just sold like 4 things, they would be sold out all the time.
Yeah, because
all of the GIs, people in the Air Force, in their minds, barbecue chicken and like egg rolls and pork belly, because most people like pork or bacon.
Yep.
Right, and then you have that with like eggs and rice. It's a little spicy. It's good. It's savory. Cool. My mom, for
She had a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
And so I'm here like,
If you think about it, your mom was probably one of the first people serving C-cigs, like ever. C-cig, ever.
oh yeah.
Because her restaurant was open in the 80s?
1984 was when my parents met.
Yeah.
So it was even prior to that.
So C-cig was fairly new. So you
Really?
could consider her one of the OGs, man.
Yeah, man.
You know, I have this crazy vision in my head. You ever seen one of those movies where they like have that crazy like intersection of like life paths? Like I have this vision in my head. And it's very possible where like your mom is cooking C-cig at her restaurant and my dad's there. And then maybe Carla's dad's there as
It
well.
motivated them or inspired
Yeah.
them to do
Maybe
something.
we were meant to have, like be sitting here today talking about food. You know what I mean?
wild.
Like
35 years down the road.
yeah, it's like some hippie ass like drunk shit. But like
Right.
it's crazy, dude.
Like everything happens for a reason.
This was meant to be that we're here right now talking about Filipino food.
The fact that a long time ago, at one point, our parents, they manifested that dream to pursue a career in the food industry. And you did it as well, like years ago. And then now that I'm on my way out of the Army, dude, the last 6 months, I've been manifesting that shit like a motherfucker,
Yes.
dude.
So I want to ask you, you're going to get out of the military.
Yeah.
What inspired you to say, hey, I'm going to open up a food truck, but more importantly, I'm just going to put myself out there on social media? Because, I'm not like a presence or anything,
Yeah.
but I have been, putting things out there because I like to do it.
Yeah.
It's a big thing.
Yeah. So I
know?
think it started back in October. During the pandemic was still a thing, right? Still kind of sucked. Like
Yeah.
half the country couldn't even go out with more than 10 people in a building. You know what I mean? And I started my second Instagram page, which was like a food and fitness page. I don't know. I was like, I'm going to post my workouts or something because I like to work out. You know what I mean? I've always been, ever since high school, I was doing like football, wrestling, and track. And then I got into martial arts. And now I've been doing weights. Like I was working out a lot. I wanted to share my workouts and the food that I eat when I work out, so you can kind of see like, okay, he works out, he eats that, cool. If I kind of maybe get inspired by that or copy that, maybe I'll not look like him, but like maybe I can live a healthier life if I just kind of do that kind of same path. You constantly work out, you constantly eat good food, you'll be healthier than just not working out and eating like bad food every single day. You know what I mean? But to get to the answer, was early February of this year. I was having a talk with my aunt. I'm going through a whole lot with my life and work and everything. And for like 2-3 months, she saw since October, I was sharing a lot more pictures of my food. I want to thank my Samsung Note 3 phone because people say, oh, your food looks so good. I'm like, it's the lighting and the camera angle.
Well, first of all, it is good because I get to try it.
Thank you. But once I started to share the pictures of the food, I talked to my auntie, like, I'm going through a lot right now. To make very long story short, I'm going through a divorce. My daughter, my firstborn, is about 18 months old. And I talked to my aunt saying, hey, like, I would like to start a cookbook for my daughter because I think it would be a really good physical gift to give to my daughter that can be a part of our legacy. The Mendoza name, like my name is linked. It's basically a Mexican side, a Filipino side, and combined. And I know a lot of Mexican food and Filipino food. I'm still learning. You still learn to cook more and more foods and the recipes. And I want to make a cookbook for my daughter. You know what I mean? And I shared a picture of that. I just made a template. It was like Mexapino cookbook. It had my emoji guy on it, and Mexican food here, the Filipino food there, the lumpia, the tocino, the carne asada, tacos. So I was like, it's a concept. I'm gonna work on it. So that turned into, well, if you're gonna make a cookbook, what do you have to do? Make the recipes and you write them down and cook it and try it out and say like, all right, well, like us as a chef, you eyeball everything. Like, oh, that much salt or that much of this. Not like when you bake, it's like 1/4 spoon of this, 1 teaspoon of that. It's exact amount. So when you cook authentic home cooked style food, you eyeball it all. So I'm like, well, if I'm gonna make a cookbook, I need to have the exact measurements of how much pounds of pork or chicken, salt, the chicken bouillon, the garlic, the onion. I need the exact amount. So that turned into me making it for myself, and then bringing it to work because I would eat like, 4 or five times a day, and I would share it with my soldiers. One day I was like, you know what? I want to do something nice. I want to make the pancit for my soldiers. I made a big old tray. I gave it to them during my lunch break, and then I gave them like plates and forks. Here, it's all free. It's all good. I just want to try it out because I'm trying to work on a cookbook. All right, sounded cool. I went to go use the bathroom for like 3 minutes. Wash my hands, talk to a friend for like a minute. I come back, all the pancit was gone. I was like, yo, what the? They started like, what was in that? I'm like, pork belly and shrimp. You're like, is that it? I'm like, well, like other things, but the soy sauce and everything else, like, that was hella good. So I'm like, could you make that again? Like, if I pay you like $10, could I get like a bowl of it? I'm like, yeah. So I did that, and then I brought my lumpia to work, my tacos to work, my chicken adobo to work. They're like, when you bring food to work, you're like, what is that? You're like, chicken adobo. Like, what the hell is that? I'm like, here, try it. Peace. And then that turned into like one friend, a soldier, a colleague of mine, a peer. They wanted it. Hey man, I'll pay you. I'm like, all right, well, let me like buy the meal prep containers because I already use them for me to meal prep my food, like chicken, eggs, and rice and vegetables and everything. And then that turned into like, I got like 12 meals to make by Sunday night before I go to work. I'm like, all right, well, let me look at how much I spent. Like, all right, I spent this much money. This is a good amount of food. It's like a pound of food. All right, $8, $9. I don't know. And then I brought like 20 of them to work, like February, like the third week. I was like, all right, I took a picture of it. All right, cool, guys. Like, I'm going to bring food to work. In 1 hour, all of them were gone. I was like, I have a lot of money. I have a lot of money in my account right now. I was like, I think I'm on to something. And then the cool thing was like, I kind of let that day go by. And then within 2-3 days, hey, Sarn, like, could you make that again for me? Or I saw your Instagram. Could you make me the surf and turf, like the steak and shrimp fried rice? Like, yeah, I can. Just give me a couple days because, I got things to do. I got priorities of work and life, and I have a dog and everything. Okay, yeah. It's all good. Like, I'll wait. All right. Very long story short, all of mid-February to March, April, and May, in 12 weeks, I've sold over 500 meal prep containers, 500 of these from my apartment.
Dang, dude, I didn't know that was the number you're pushing.
It's around that.
Dude, just out of your little electric stove. I seen it.
My air fryer,
That's work, bro. Yeah. That's work.
Yeah. Because it's cool because I've had some people eventually, because I also go to the gym, I'll post and everything. And, in the fitness industry, it's all about the portions and food. And it's not what you eat, but how much you eat. Like, I tell people, in a general day, like, how much do you eat, man? Like, do you eat a lot? I'm like, to make a long story short, I eat 2 cups of white rice, 2.5 pounds of chicken, and a pound of broccoli. 90% of my food for the day is that. They're like, oh, that's not bad. And then I show them 2.5 pounds of chicken. They're like,
it's a fuckload of chicken.
It's 2 of these of all chicken breasts. They're like, how do you do that? Oh, I eat it throughout the day.
So are you just eating like twice a day, 3 times a day, or just when you have time?
Five times a day.
You're eating 5 times a day. Wow.
10, noon, 2, 4, 6, and then after the gym, I get a shake, and I'm like, all right.
Nice.
Yeah, but then like the whole meal prep stuff, it turned into like cooking for people at work. Some people at my gym, they follow me on Instagram. I cook for, like doing things nice. I made lumpia and pancit and some other stuff for the 2 guys that own the gym that I go to. And they shared it on their Instagram. They got a big following. They have the supplement stores and everything. So they're real popular in the area in terms of like the Instagram and all that. And that turned into like that one person, that person, and they reach out to me. 2 meals here, 4 meals here, 8 meals. Hey man, like your food looks so good. I'll buy 10. I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
And that turned into like a meal plan like every other week. Like that guy wants 10 meals, 8 meals. And I'm like, yo.
How are you finding the time on top of your military career to do all this cooking for all these people?
I listen to podcasts. I play music. I play your podcast. It's cool because like I play a lot of music, chill hop and Joe Rogan podcast, your stuff and all that. I play it in the background and I just get get to work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And also being a single dad, I got time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's just like, and I also kind of cut out, the whole inspirational saying, like, if you just take 6 months and focus on you, you can achieve a lot. Mm-hmm. And I absolutely believe that. If you want to make a change, like you want a habit that's good, you got to manifest it, think about it, talk about it, speak it into existence, and do your call to action and do the work required to get to that point.
Yes, sir.
I wanted to lose weight. COVID fucked me up. I gained like 30 pounds. By the beginning of the year, I was like, all right, I did my Christmas leave. I'm going to get on scale. I'm like, 255. Oh, my God.
What? Dude, you're 250. You reached 255?
I was, yeah.
I've been following you on Instagram this whole time. I don't remember you looking 255.
A lot of people say that. I'm like, no. When I look in the mirror, I just kind of, I'm like, yep, that's 255. Why? Because my shirts were all tight. They were like buttons coming out. I'm like, yeah.
How much you weigh right now?
209.
Damn, dude.
I lost a lot of weight.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. First of all, you do listen to my podcast. Not that many people listen to my podcast, but you're the only person who reached out to me with regards to the healthy things. So, I'm going to make a commitment today, dude. I'm going to get on the Mexapino meals. Dude, because I'm sitting at like 245.
Okay.
I want to get down to 209.
So my friend CJ, he reached out to me like a month ago. He's like, bro, I saw your...
As I bite into this.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah. As long as you get like four ounces at a time, you'll be okay. Just don't eat like 3 cups of rice with it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But so my boy... Yeah, right, yeah. Yeah, or shots. But my boy CJ, he reached out to me. What's up, dog? He used to work at Tilt. A long time ago.
What's his last name?
Mooring.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
We sparred before. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, we met through, I used to do Muay Thai, whatever. So.
Yeah, like him and Vaughn.
Cool ass dude, man.
Hella cool
ass dude.
So he reached out to me about a month ago. I was like, bro, I saw your weight loss, the journey. I'm impressed. Like, that's inspirational. Like, how the fuck did you do that? Like, let's be honest. Like, I don't got time to look into all the macros and grams of protein, carbs. Like,
I agree.
Would you be willing to, I know you're busy, I know you're in the army, you're doing the food thing. Could you build me like a meal plan? I'm like, all right, well, let me get your age, height, and weight first so I can get your BMR. He's like, what's that? Like your basal metabolic rate. Basically, that number is the number of calories that you need to eat to be alive. So, for example, you're 35, you're 5'9", 245 pounds. You need, for example, 2,300 calories per day to weigh the same. So, but I want to lose weight. All right, subtract 500 calories from that, like 1,800, right? Ish, right? Mm-hmm. You eat that much, you will lose 1 pound a week, a minimum of one pound a week. Plus, it also depends on what you eat. Like, you can eat 1,000 calories of Snickers or 1,000 calories of chicken, eggs, and rice.
Yeah.
Over the course of like months, your composition, the way your body looks, it will change.
Yeah.
So long story short, I built him a meal plan with like chicken and beef. It was like, I told him like, what's something that you know you will eat a lot? Because I think the biggest thing with the meal planning and the prepping, people like kind of think it's too much, like it's way harder than what they think, and they pick food that they're not going to eat a lot. Like, I don't eat quinoa. I don't eat quinoa.
Yeah.
I barely eat kale. So I told him, what are things that you know you will eat? I was like, for example, will you eat like
rice and chicken?
Chicken, eggs, and rice, chicken fried rice. He's like, oh yeah, hell yeah. I'm like, all right, hold on. And I did some more work. I was doing like my calculations and everything. All right, here's your meal plan. You want to eat 4 times a day? Yeah, okay. I basically built him a plan of like a big wok. It's about 2-3 pounds of chicken, egg, fried rice, right? 2 cups of rice, pound of chicken, 5 eggs, a little bit of soy sauce, peas and carrots, the garlic, onion, and all that. Split that all up into 4 plates. He lost about 9 pounds in 11 days.
Hey.
He's like, bro, what the hell was that? I'm like, it's not what you eat, it's what you eat, but how much of it do you eat?
Yeah.
He's like, can I do that throughout the whole year? I'm like, yeah, if you don't have a cheat day. He's like, but you can have a cheat meal. I tell people, try to have a cheat meal more than a cheat day. Because if you have a cheat meal, you can eat like 4 pounds of food in a day. And you're like, I might keep 3 pounds of that. You know what I mean? So I tell them like, just try to stick to a good meal plan, 5-6 days a week. Enjoy your day. Enjoy one day or one good meal. because it's a process, and you want to enjoy it. You don't just want to go on a strict diet cut for the whole year. You're not going to stick to it.
Yeah, you're being realistic.
Yes.
With food that's not like diet culture food. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Because I'm like,
and dude, your proof is in the pudding. Like, you don't even want a fucking belly right now, man.
that did take a while.
Yeah,
that did take a while. So I told him I try to push that. That's why like my Instagram is like a food and a fitness page, because it kind of goes hand in hand. Like, you ask anyone that likes to work out a lot, or they work out a lot, they eat a lot.
All right.
You know, and I like to work out a lot, eat a lot, and cook a lot.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like those three things in one.
We'll definitely talk a little bit more after the podcast. Maybe we can do some for myself, because we're getting older.
Yeah.
I want to get arms like yours.
A lot of curls, dog. Yeah.
But
appreciate that, man.
Yeah, of course, dude. You look great, man.
Yeah.
And you eat a lot just like me, and we look different. But no, for seriously.
Plus,
so go ahead.
Plus, you have the access to like food. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just like
shouldn't have any excuses.
Yeah, it's like, all right, you can eat pork. Like to be honest, like I eat pork like maybe once a month. I cook it. I make the seasoning. Like, bro, do you eat that all the time? Hell no, I don't eat that all the time.
Yeah.
Like, I ate like 5 ounces of it, and I was like,
it's all about balance, right?
I got tired. I'm like, yo, I can't do this. I'm like, I kind of just gave it away. Like, does anybody want this meal? Because like, you know me, when you cook food, like being a mom and stuff like that, my mom does not know how to cook for like me and you. Yeah. My mom knows how to cook for the whole house.
Same.
So,
not me, but like my parents. Yeah.
Right?
You know?
So I'm like, me cook chicken adobo for 2? Like,
what
the hell is that?
What does that mean?
So I always buy 5 pounds of chicken thighs, and then I cook it all. I'm like, all right, now I got food for 2-3 days, you know?
Yeah.
But
so, you're going to be out of the military soon, and it seems like you're on a path to having a food truck.
Yes.
Mexapino Meals food truck.
Yeah. A couple weeks ago, I bought the LLC. All right, I'm a legitimate, as of like last Sunday, in the state of Washington, I am a registered small business, Mexapino Meals LLC. That's cool, man.
Hell yeah.
I told my mom, like, Mom, look. She's like, is that real? I'm like, yeah, it's real. Like, I paid for it. Goddamn it, you know?
One step closer, man.
Yeah.
So what do you envision for this food truck of yours, man?
A lot. I think about it every day. I'm almost like obsessed about it.
That's good.
When I go to get a haircut, when I pay for things, when I run into people at the gym, like, oh, what's your Instagram? I'm like, oh, this. Like, do you cook? I'm like, yeah. And then I almost always find a reason to promote it, like my food. I can't help it. I can't help but talk about it. Like, oh, you're in the Army? I'm like, yeah, I'm in the Army for like a month or 2. But then when I get out, I'm doing a food truck. I'm doing this and that. Like, what? Like, I went to a party a couple weeks ago, because like my whole thing is like, for now, I've been doing the meal prepping for individual, friends, right, or new friends, right. Thank you for the donation, right. Mm-hmm. And then the catering, I've done that about 2 times now.
Nice.
So it's like I want to do the meal prepping, because that is like, I can see that going throughout the whole year. Like, no matter what, you might not go to a food truck every day, but if somebody would meal prep for you and build a meal plan, I think that could do it very well. Especially if it's like, it looks good, it tastes good, they're portioned, and it's like, I have a deal. It's like 10 meals for $80. If you would just buy 10 meals up,
that's a good deal
up front.
That's
you almost can't go wrong with that, because the portions are good. You can eat like 2 or 3 of them a day and still lose weight, still be on track to lose a pound a week or something.
Yeah.
You know? So my whole thing is I want to do the meal prepping, the catering, getting the word of mouth out there. Because like I did a party a month ago. 2 people from the party, they reached out to me. Oh, so my kids had the Olympia and their scores. They're like, could you make that for me on the weekend? I'm like, yeah, I can. Just let me know how much, what the order would be, and I can give you like a set price for it. Okay. And then that's happened like a dozen times now.
Yeah.
In like a month. So it's just like, I think, the whole old school mentality of the word of mouth is still strong.
Oh, yeah.
And now with Instagram, all you got to do is, I'll buy your food. I'll tag you in the story. And then like a dozen people from the gym that I go to, they tag me in their story. They post the food. That gets my name out there. Nice. So I want to do the meal prepping, the catering, and then the truck. So I know my next steps are once I'm out the Army, kind of give like a month to just kind of rest and digest it all. Like, all right, what are my exact steps? The licensing, I need a commercial type of kitchen. I know a lot of the food trucks in my area. There is I don't know if you know that type of thing where there's like a commissary in the kitchen where like a lot of food trucks, the people who work on them go to a building or like a warehouse type of thing. There's a bunch of sinks and stoves and all that, so you can clean all of your pots and pans and everything, or prep or cook and all that, bake, fry and all that, and then you have like a lock of your food. It's like, hey, that's yours.
Yeah.
You can come here whenever you want. You're charged like, for the county that I live in, I looked it up. It's like $600 a month, right, to rent the time and space for
using your commissary.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly. So I'm like, I could afford that. You know what I mean? Because I also think the big thing too is like being in the Army for so long, I've learned to have a great fascination for attention to detail, because if you mess up, the mission could go wrong, things can go wrong, people can die, or
blow up the wrong building.
Exactly, right? So that attention to detail of like, you know, all the amount that I spent on a 50-pound bag of rice, 20 pounds of chicken, when I buy food in bulk and I sell the meal for this amount, like, is there a profit there? Yeah. How much? Oh, it depends if I'm selling beef, pork, or sisig, or taco. It just depends, but I know the amount. It's all not just in my head, but it's in my phone. I have meal plans and the menu, the ingredients, like I calculate it all.
Yeah.
It's all.
That's, well, first of all, and for the listeners who
Right.
are trying to start their own thing, that's probably one of the most important things you have to do for your business.
Yes.
And you should get it out of the way right away.
Yeah.
Good for you, man.
Yeah,
Because
'cause,
food
like-
cost is literally a pillar of your business is knowing
Oh,
your
yeah.
cost.
Because there's one thing to do it for like fun, cool. Like it's cool to see people smile, your food is good, and they come back to you, cool. But like, if you were to do this for a business, is there a profit? And if it's low, you don't want to lowball yourself. So how much is your time worth, right? Like my friend was saying, like, you know, you can go to Burger King, they can give you a really high fat, high carb meal in 2 minutes. You pay $11 for it. But if you get, you know, my meal, it could be, depending if you buy 10 at a time, it could be $8 or $9. Like if you were to just buy that, it would be $9. And I portion it though, so yeah, it's $9, but it's like so one thing too that I do with my food is that I give every customer, if they want it, the macros. Like, hey, this is 5 ounces of chicken thighs, 1/2 cup or 1 cup of rice, 3 ounces of broccoli. It is 340 calories. It's 25 grams of protein, 18 grams of carbs, 5 grams of fat.
Yeah.
So you could eat this 6 times a day and still be in a deficit and lose 1 pound a week. What? Like, yeah, you can eat this meal 6 times a day and still lose 1 pound a week. That's crazy. I'm like, yeah. Would you do it? You know, and that's kind of like,
yeah.
But Popeyes and Wendy's and Jack in the Box and tortilla.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, so it's like, people like it, they like the thought, but I just tell people, like, if you want to come back to me, it's all good. There's no pressure.
Yeah.
I do not reach out to anybody. I've sold that many meals, and I don't reach out to anybody. They reach out to me, which I'm thankful for. You know what I mean? The fact that, like, I'm getting out the Army, I tell people, like, my whole plan is to, like, once I get the a kitchen going, I'm going to think about it, because I have, like, maybe 5 friends that want to invest. They want, hey, man, like, I believe in you. I support you. You know, I have friends that would invest into me $1,000, $5,000. I had one friend, 10 grand. I'm like, you would invest 10 grand in me? Like, yeah, you know, you would pay me back, you know, 8, 10%. Oh, okay, but I'm like,
Yeah.
That's crazy. Like, I don't know how, whenever you got into this, my question was like, I could tell, like, 5 months ago, I could see myself changing my mindset into kind of an entrepreneur mindset. I've never thought like that.
Yeah.
I've always been like a martial artist. I like to work out. I come from a big kind of family. The cultural pride in food and working out, that's what I've always done since I was, like, into sports and all that. Now it's like small business mindset, entrepreneur mindset, profit, skill, content, product. What do you have to offer? How diverse could it be? I'm here thinking of, like, food and maybe a barbecue sauce, a rub, a Mexapino rub, a Pampanga rub for pork. You know, like those. I have like 20 ideas in my phone. I have the menu. I have my cookbook with chapters on Mexican food, Filipino food, cheat meals, and the Mexapino, like, hybrid smoked chicken and adobo wings.
Yeah.
You know, I have like all these ideas. I'm just here like, man, is this a normal thing?
Yes.
Is it?
100%. You hit it right on the nose. Till this day, Carl and I, we've been in the game a long time.
Yeah.
And we are still like that. Just yesterday,
crazy. That's cool.
Carl and I, she called me. She was like, hey, I want to do this. She was inspired by a drive she was doing. She was just driving and she was bored.
Yeah.
And she's like, I want to do this. How do you feel about this? And at this point, nothing's crazy to us.
Yeah.
So I'm like, this is how we do it. Like, she's like, babe, I want to do this. And how do you feel about it? We always pass things to each other. And I say either it's crazy or we should do it.
Yeah.
But just to show you, like, and that's how an entrepreneur thinks. There's like 20 things going through your head and you want to do all of them.
At the same time.
You want to do all of them. Yeah.
At the same, yeah.
Like what you were just saying for the past like 2 minutes now, 3 minutes. I was like, yep, yes, yes, because that's a daily thought on my mind. Like I'll be in my kitchen and I'll be like kind of just going through the motions. And what my brain is going through is like, what's my next move? While I'm in, you know, I'm not even trying to flex or anything, but like I have enough, but I still have this hunger to do more.
Yeah.
You know?
That's dope.
And I think that's that entrepreneurial spirit that you already have.
Yeah.
It's amazing, dude. Like
Yeah.
I can feel that's like the best thing about this podcast is when I bring other people who want to be entrepreneurs or who are entrepreneurs now, it's infectious. Like you're glowing and you inspire me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I was gonna say the same thing. You've inspired me a lot.
And, dude,
Like
you know what I mean?
When you had the bookkeeper on, I was like, man, I gotta get a bookkeeper, dog. Like $200 a month, like what? But like you said, like I wish, like if there was like when he asked you, like if there was something that you could tell people who are wanting to get into the entrepreneur small business thing, you know, the LLC and everything, what advice would you give to them? Like get a bookkeeper ASAP. I wish I got that. I wish I did that my first 2 years in the business because
there's some costs that you need to get.
When the taxes came back, like, what are your expenses? Like, oh, well, you don't know how much you spent on X, Y, and Z, so here's a tax cut, or here's a tax, you know, that you'll be taxed on. You're like, I gotta pay that much. Like, goddamn.
Yeah. Well, you know, now that you're actually an actual LLC, you have to start paying no matter what. So for now, while you're still small, I would say you can kind of do it on your own to save some money.
Yeah.
But once you get to that point, you're like, oh fuck, I can't do this. Just know that like you can rely on Bruce or you can rely on your own.
Yeah.
But I was thinking about this. I wanted to tell you this before we end this podcast, whenever we end it. But so with what you're saying, it's very natural. Like I want to do all of these things, and that's how it should be. You're on the right path.
Yeah.
But also, you can't forget, you have to take days where you kind of just find a quiet place and you calm your mind and you think, what are my customers and my client base? What are they really gravitating towards?
Exactly.
And then that's them telling you, oh, this is what I'm good at. This is what I'm doing. Because there can be this thing where you do too much and you spread yourself thin. Especially you right now, you're kind of a one-man show.
I am.
You know what I mean? So you have to just kind of remember, okay, Mexapino meals, this is what it is. I'm not saying put yourself in a box. Yeah. But
if that's
highlight what you're good at.
Niche, right? Like a niche. Like what podcast was it? I think it was the last one. You're like, you kind of want to have a niche. Like if you're trying to grow like your business, your website, or your Instagram thing, or your like social stuff. I'm not saying box yourself, but if you're good at like one or two things, stick to that. Don't have like blogs about you collecting rocks. People, they want your food, bro. You work out and you cook. Cool, stick to that. Yeah, like you know what I mean. And so, so with the business that I have, the cool thing is I have a couple of friends that were in the Army. I served with them. I deployed with them. I went to Korea with them.
Please.
And my friend Sean Brown, you know, he's Filipino too. He actually went to a culinary art school and has a degree in cooking.
Oh, wow. And
he's Filipino, and he likes to cook food. So I'm like, and he's like, bro, I want to work on your truck. I'm like, yeah? He's like, yeah. I'm like, bet. That support, I'm like, bro, I got one person to work on the truck now. And now I have another friend. He just got out the Army a month ago. He's on leave now, too. He's like, bro, I show up in Tacoma in like a month. My wife's in Korea for a year, and then we're gonna stay out in Tacoma and buy a house. We're gonna live there, dog. I love what you're doing. Your page looks real good. I would love to work on your truck. I'm like, what? That's cool. Like the fact that love and support from people that I know or I work with, that like eases my mind. Like, oh, cool. Like now I don't got to think about at least 2 people that want to work with me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think that support, that and the support from my mom and dad, my whole family, my brother, my cousins, my niece, and my nephew, my auntie, all of them are all on board.
Yep.
They saw the hat. They're like, the hat looks so cool. And my mom, we're like, oh my God, man, you got it's a cool hat. I'm like, thanks, Mom. Like, I almost cried because like to get the approval of the woman that taught me how to cook, goddamn, and to want to actually pursue a career in food, it's almost like, yeah, I've always known my mom was a cook, but I never thought in a million years that I would like almost do the same thing. You know what I mean? Like that's why I'm like, then why'd I go to school for physical therapy? I went to Sac State. I could have just went to food with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
I think about that too sometimes, man. Like it's just the way life works.
Yeah.
Because I remember my senior year of high school, I was about to graduate. My mom was like, I think you should go to culinary school. I was like, nah, I don't want to.
Yeah.
Just think if I would have said yes, I would have saved some time and money. You know what I mean? Like, we should have listened.
Right. But if you did that, would you have met Kike?
Well, Carla and
same way?
Carla and I, we always like to say, like in our own like romantic way, that we would have been together no matter what. But just you never know.
Yeah.
You never know.
Yeah.
But I agree with you. Like this path that we're on, it's the path we're meant to be on. Like these things were supposed to happen. We were supposed to go to Sac State.
Yeah.
We were supposed to graduate. You know what I mean? Like
at the time that we did, I was supposed to join the Army, go through all of what I went through. I had a daughter, which inspired me to do a cookbook, to meal prep. Bought an LLC, and now I'm going to be a business,
regardless of the LLC, regardless of whatever is going on. Like you don't need my blessing or anything.
No.
I just feel like you're already thinking like a businessman. You're already acting like an entrepreneur.
Thank you.
And, people have their own definition of what a chef is. You know what I mean? A white coat, someone cooks at home, someone cooks on the Food Network. This sounds a little like cliche, but what a chef is really what you feel inside your heart. You know what I mean? Like there could be some motherfucker who looks at us and like these two ain't chefs.
Yeah.
But no, like a chef is really like how you feel. Do you cook food for somebody and do you get joy from like that it brings you?
Yeah.
You're a chef, brother.
Thank you,
You're
man.
an entrepreneur. Like the way you're talking right now.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd call your bullshit right in your front of your face if you were bullshit. You know what I mean? I really would. Cause
like, bro, that's
I mean, I'd be saving you money. Like, hey, your business is not going to do well. You know what I mean? So, and I honestly wouldn't be bringing you on here if I didn't think like you had a chance to do something amazing.
Thank you.
I'm not just blowing smoke up your ass, but I really believe in the Mexapino Meals food truck.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah. And you have my support, man.
Hell yeah, man.
Cause I mean, I don't know, man.
Like when you had there was a podcast that you did like a couple weeks back. It was that one short one about if you want to go into a business.
Oh yeah.
Dude, I thought you were talking to me. I'm like, I'm not trying to be like all narcissist, but like I kind of felt like I was meant to listen to that on my way to the gym. I was on my way from work to the gym and I played. I'm like, I feel like RJ's trying to talk to me or something. You're like, maybe I was. I don't know. I'm like,
I had you in my mind for sure.
That's cool,
and
man.
I actually want you to remember this day.
Hell yeah, man.
Because you listen to that podcast, you know that there are going to be weeks, days, months where it's not going to be easy. You're going to still be struggling. Like Carla and I, till this day, we have rough weeks.
Yeah.
We have days where we're like, dude, how are we going to pay our staff? Till this day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Wow.
How am I going to meet payroll?
Yeah.
So I want you to remember this day, everything that we've talked about this past hour. Maybe you can just revisit this podcast.
Oh.
The reason why you're doing it's not for the money.
No.
It's not for like the recognition. It's really because we love providing food as chefs for people.
Yeah.
We show our love through food.
Yeah.
Right. And our parents did that. It's in our bloodline. We're kabangbangan.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So remember that day, because I know for a fact you're going to have a food truck in about a year from now.
Yeah.
And you're going to be having that tough day. I want you to remember, like, either A, I'm going to call RJ or Carla. How do I get through this? And we're going to be there for you.
Yeah.
Or you're going to find your way through it.
Yeah.
Because you'll remember that I'm doing it for the love
Yeah.
of the game. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And like even my mom was saying, which again, I'm glad that she retired from the casino. She's like, I'm not like, she was all happy wearing my hat and was like, maybe when you have your truck, I'll fly to Seattle and I'll stay for like a month and just make sure that you don't mess up the food. I'll help you. I'm like, yeah. She's like, yeah. I'm like, what? That'd be dope as hell.
Yeah,
like, bro,
dude.
how cool would that be if you saw like a food truck and the chef, his mom or dad who taught him how to cook was on the food truck? You're like, bro, this is like authentic food. I want that.
Yeah. You're right. That's the
You know what I
key
mean? Yeah.
key to success is just okay, this is authentic. That's OG right there.
Exactly.
And plus, dude, working side by side with your mom, that's something you can never get back. That's something I'll always appreciate, being able to
not
work.
buy that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think you should do it, man.
Yeah. And the cool thing for people that don't know, I'm doing this all for my daughter. I named my daughter after my mom.
Okay.
Lilia Balahaya Mendoza.
Beautiful.
Like, I call her like my Lilia Jr. because, it's my mom's name. But like, I legit plan to have like a dedication part somewhere on my truck. Like, this truck is dedicated to my daughter and my mom. It's the same name.
Yeah.
So it's it's cool. It's cool. And my mom was like, yeah, I want to help out. I'm like, all right. That really excites me, and it's just like, I feel confident in it. I've told people, like, I've had people that say like, hey bro, like there's an event next week with my with my soldiers. Could you bring your food truck? I'm like, I don't even have a food truck. I don't have a truck here. They're like, no, but I saw on your Instagram there was like, you are the founder of the truck. I'm like, it was a concept, but I believe in manifesting what you want, right? So this is my concept of the truck. This is what I think, what I would like it to look like. I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
I got the credit score for it. I got money saved up. I just got to get out the Army and do it.
Yeah.
There's risk, and I get it, but the happiness and joy that I've gotten the last 3-4 months from it, making people smile through my food and talking about it, and supporting me at parties and at the gym, at the store, this, that, and third, and they run into me, and the fact that they support it, it makes me feel good inside. Like, I feel like I'm doing something right.
And you are.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
And what better way to end the podcast than on that note, man?
That, dude. Yeah.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Congratulations. And once again, any questions you have on the side, if you want to come back on the podcast, just hit me up, man. Carl and I, we're an open book. And I'm excited for the things you're about to do, man.
Thank you, man.
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
Bye, brother.
Yeah, man. That.